Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Today, with it being the first Wednesday of June, I'm making my global monthly video. And this is a group of demonstrators from around the world, and we get together just once a month and we all make a project with either the same theme or the same stamp set. And this month's is Floral. So I've decided that I'm going to use one of the new stamp sets that actually goes live today. It's in the new Stampin Up annual catalogue, and it's this Tasteful Touches. And I'm using this little flower here, and I'm also using the matching dies. And the dies don't cut out any of the stamp shapes. They're actually a set of labels. And I'm using this one because I'm going to use that for my sentiment. And then I'm going to use this stamp and this stamp, and I'm going to steal a stamp from another set. It's also a set that goes live today. It's the Forever Fern, and I just want these little dots. If you don't have this set, I'm sure you've got a set somewhere that might have little dots or little patterns, or you could even use this little pattern stamp that's in with this set. So first, I'm going to do my floral part, my flower. And I'm using this card, which is the shimmery white. And I'm not sure if the camera will fit and sort of pick it up. It's got a very, very subtle little shine of, it's almost like little spots, little dots in there. And although it's called white, I do find that it isn't like our Whisper White. This is our Whisper White card. And can you see how this, it's still white, but it's not that bright white that we have in the card. But I'm going to use this, and I've got my stamp already mounted. And because I don't have any of the new inks yet, I'm going to use our last year's in colours, and I'm using the Rococo Rose. So let's just get this ready. And I'm going to stamp it twice, just onto that shimmery white cardstock. So I want to show you how I'm going to colour it in and the difference. Okay, I will only be using one of them, but oh, actually, while I've got that open, I've got my card base here. I'm going to stamp on the inside. I'm just going to stamp the flower. Okay, and I'm going to find an envelope. Let's find a white one. Okay, and I'm going to stamp that on the front as well, just while I've got that open. Oops. Okay, and I'm also going to do my sentiment. Now, I need a longer piece for my sentiment. And I've chosen the You Are So Special. So I'm going to stamp that in the same Rococo Rose. Okay, and put that to one side. Right. Now, here are our two images, both exactly the same. And I'm going to take my blender pen. And you can see I've already used this blender pen before. It's got a little bit of staining on, but that doesn't come off. When you have finished with the blender pen, let me just find a little piece of paper. Oh, I can't just see any. I'll tell you what, let's do it just on here. When you've finished, you just rub or brush all extra ink off. So there's no ink left, but you do still have that little tiny tinge of pink. Right. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to colour here and use the blender pen to move some of the ink that's already stamped. And it's very, very subtle on this. I've left it a little bit long, maybe just to dry. So I'm just going to go over all of it. And where there's more ink, I'm just going over that a couple of times. And I can see that some of the ink is just starting to colour in the white space. I'm going to do that with the second one as well. I'm just going to quickly go over it. I'm not taking a lot of time to colour or anything. And then if you want it a little bit darker, excuse me, if you want it a little bit darker, I've got my ink pad and I'm just gently touching the blender pen, just the nib of it, just on that ink. And you will get a little bit more ink onto your blender pen. And so you can put extra shade in if you want. And you can make it just as dark as you want. And I always start at the bottom of the petal with the dark ink and then just go up. And I don't do all of them, as I don't want the whole flower to be all the same colour or anything. Okay, so you can see that just by using a little bit more of the ink, you can get a little bit more depth to your flower. Oh, let's rub that off. There we go. Okay, I don't need the ink anymore, so I'm going to pop that away. And then I'm actually going to use this one. I'm going to fussy cut it just with my scissors, and I have actually already cut it out. So you can see I've left just a little bit of white all around the edge. Now, if you do this and you're doing it on the white card, you'll see it looks totally different with the blender pen. You see it looks much flatter, sort of more dull. Whereas on this shimmer paper, you can see just those little tiny flecks in it, and it gives it just a little bit extra. So you already know that I've made my base and I've put a layer of Rococo Rose card on top. And on top of that, I'm going to put a little piece of crumb cake. And need to do some stamping first. So what I've done is chosen this leaf stamp, and I've got my Versamark out. Because remember that Versamark, whatever colour you're stamping on, Versamark takes that colour. If you want to use just an ordinary ink, I've got crumb cake card, so just use crumb cake ink. But I like Versamark because it means I don't have to have every ink, and I don't have to have everything open. I can do lots of colours on different colour cards just from this one ink pad. And over at the right hand side, I'm just going to put one of the leaves and leave it on a little bit. Versamark can take a little while just to soak into the card. And then I'm going to put another one down in this corner. And you see, as it's drying, it goes a little bit darker. And then I've got that sneaky little stamp from the Forever Fern with the dots on. And I'm just going to put a few dots. I don't want to overwhelm it. I just want some kind of a background. And I'm just going to turn the stamp a bit. You're not going to see much of this, but I just want to have just a little bit, so that it doesn't look like the card's plain. There we are. Let's pop that away. I'm just going to put this stamp out of the way as well. There we go. Now, next, I'm sorry, I've got just a frog in my throat this morning. Next, I'm going to use some of the scalloped linen ribbon in the Rococo Rose. And you can see that the middle is this crumb cake colour, and that's why I chose that crumb cake backing. And I'm just going to, I've already cut a little piece, and I'm going to go across my card with. So I'm going to attach it with my tearing tape. I don't have any snail or anything right now. The new adhesive has come out in the catalogue today, but I haven't been able to order any yet, of course. So I'm just using tearing tape. I'm excited to see the new adhesive actually. And one of them is going to be extra strong, and I think it must be almost like the fast fuse that we used to have that I really loved. Okay, now I'm just going to fold a little bit over so it's sticking onto that adhesive there, and making sure my ribbon is straight. I'm going to do the same at the other side. Okay. Now, if you wanted, you could put a piece of tear and tape across and stick the ribbon onto it, or do it with glue dots as well. I don't suggest you do it with the wet glue, as I found that sometimes the ink in the ribbon or the colour in the ribbon just it will run a little bit, and you can see it sort of onto the card and things, and I don't like that. Okay, so now that we've got that all done, I want to attach this to the front, but I'm not going to glue it straight down. I want to have it just on dimensionals. I want it to pop up just that little bit, and I know that this card I'm not going to put in the mail, so it doesn't matter if it's a little bit thicker. Now, if yours is going in the mail, you can just glue this whole layer down. I find that if I've got more than one dimensional thickness, then it goes in the mail, but for a different price, much more expensive. So I try and limit myself, if I know they're going in the mail, to just doing one thickness of dimensionals. Okay. Okay, there. Now, I'm going to put my flower just over this side, and now it looks like these little leaves that I stamped, they belong to that flower. I'm going to get some more little dimensionals out. I'm going to use my little ones, and I'm going to add this, and I'm going to put my dimensionals at the top and the bottom of the ribbon. That way I know that my flower will be sort of stuck securely, and it'll be just a little bit higher than the ribbon. But again, if I was mailing it, I wouldn't be doing the dimensionals on that layer. Let's take these off. These ones I find really tricky, these little ones. I think because I've got no nails at the moment from doing gardening and things, it's really tricky to get the backs off. There we go. Now I'm just going to put that on a little angle. And then remember that we stamped the sentiment. I'm going to use, where has it gone? This shape. I've already stamped it once, and I've run it through the die cutter so that we've got this shape. And can you see how you get those little like embossed lines on it as well? Because this is built into the die. I think that's really pretty. So I'm going to put this on here, and again I'm going to put it on the dimensionals. I'm not going to do those little ones because my nails aren't good enough. So let's find some more. I just like the different shapes of these dies for labels and things. I think they're going to be a really good asset. So even if I hadn't bought the stamp set, I would have bought the dies. There we go. And then last of all, I have my Pearl Basic Jewels. Excuse me. I was out gardening yesterday and my throat was sort of not sore, but just, I don't know, just very dry after I'd been gardening. So I think it might be some of the pollen that's out at the moment. Anyway, this is the dark crumb cake, and I've just gone over a few of the little basic pearls to make the colour that I need. And then with my little pokey tool, I'm just going to add these. I'm going to put one just here on the sentiment, and then I'm going to put two just a bit lower down. And they then blend in with the Versamark and with the colouring. So let's see, I'm just going to pop that one there. And that's it. That's my floral card for the monthly group. Now, if you look at the bottom of the information on the YouTube channel, you'll see that there's a whole list of names, and those names are the other ladies that are involved in the global video group this month. So check them out, see what everybody else has made, and I'm sure you'll see some pretty cool ideas and lots of things that you can make yourself as well. So thank you so much for watching me, everybody. I'll see you all again next month if you're a global video watcher, or if you're one of my normal ladies who watch, I'll see you all again on Sunday. Take care, everybody, and thank you again. Bye-bye.